And also, for those of you just joining us, he mentioned that coldzera has a lot of his spots and should be very comfortable. But I'm with you. I predicted Faze as well. They're a known quantity. They're very good, and I think right now they've got a lot less problems than Complexity does.
Beginning the party, of course, here on Nuke, and beginning the round towards ramp. Poison already looking to punish. No panic rotate out of the counter-terrorists. They've got man side back sight. That's Rain. Coupled here with Olaf. Both able to add a headshot to the kill feed, and everything comes crumbling down around Complexity. They tried to get that opening, and they are met by a brick wall.
Yeah. You can already see with Brain in that rotating position behind the side silo that they are so comfortable. They're ready for the lower hit, so the rotations were very, very quick. And a lot of the times, you know, if you take ramp that quickly, you don't anticipate someone to be really comfy in the site. You think they're going to be around control side, so it's a good sign that Faze were exactly prepared for this situation. So we move now into round 2. Biop's going to come in, fair few smokes, so they can pull off some type of execute. And of course, one of the outstanding things on everyone's mind is, you know, I've got 3 players who play relatively slowly, all on the same roster between JKS, coldzera, and BlameF. How will they operate together? And T-side Nuke should be the perfect test of this. You know, BlameF has always been an outside lurker on this team. But, oh, well, you got an entry from Esatag. Upstairs has been busted wide open. Rain doesn't even feel comfortable getting in just yet, and that's definitely a free bomb plant.
Yeah, Kerrigan, you do not want to come up this ladder. Players awaiting him. Couple of CTs inside of Heaven as well, so the retake definitely primed. We've got utility coming in through Heaven thanks to the Hell player, and then the offensive retake comes through from Rain. But Roki goes down empty-handed. Kerrigan's found himself into the mix. However, he just crossed JKS, and with that P250, it's a shot to the back of the head. Rain's gonna have to basically do this whole entire thing, and with 1/3 his HP left over, half of the time left on bomb, and unfortunately for him, a player back in Heaven, you'd think he's done for. Sure enough, that's exactly what happens. Blame the insurance policy wrapping around the Heaven. We've got Cole right back onto the scoreboard thanks to a pop into upper.
It can't be overstated how important the first kill is on executes like this. And if we have Twist, you know, get that dink off, get the damage in, get the kill, and Rain is 2 seconds away, that upstairs hold will look completely different. So it's a great shot from Esatag as the entry fragger to read that it's going to be someone sitting in opposite vent and to also nail the frag.
I think additionally we saw Kerrigan drop that smoke as he was coming up from the ladder, and that's the exact smoke that JKS ended up playing against him, sneaking up behind. No smoke, Kerrigan clears those corners, and maybe he's, you know, 2v1 on Blame. But what goes around can come around. Rain has already begun with a deagle frag of his own. And I'm more than ready to get into that sloppy... Oh, yeah.
Yo. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's Rain with an AK as well as a frag and an unretrievable AK on the top of Silo.
Oh, and Olaf's going to give us another 3 deagle kills already for Complexity, but a lower bomb site for...
It's still recoverable. So, okay, so they have a moment where they have so much time left over, and they don't know the back of ramp is still open. The store could get swung. They're going to fake plant. Oh, the risk here is that... Whoa, CT's get more comfortable, but Kerrigan over faces. Oh.
There goes Rain. Falls onto Brokey.
That's a big mistake.
That's it. 2v3.
With 3 players, you can threaten control. You can threaten both sides of ramp control and decon. You know, 3 of 5 spots, and you can't do that if if one person dies in such a key spot where you can now plant for decon. That's just a kill you can't give up. So I think what was really important was almost letting that bomb get planted, or at least waiting until 3 seconds in when they might try another plant. But yeah, I mean, Faze still only had pistols, so still a pretty decent round for them. However, that would have been the difference between a buy and a save here.
Yeah, most certainly.
Right.
It's a big opening move for Complexity to deny.
We also talked to Esatag for the Blast Push Talk podcast, yep, which I think will be out on Monday?
Something like that.
Something like that. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you listen to.
Boom.
And Esatag said that the identity of a team, or what players are like playing slowly or whatever, shouldn't define you completely. And
right.
And so he believes that, coldzera can fit into a roster JKS on it, and BlameF playing slow as well. He said that these traits are not exactly who these players are, but just what they're known for in the past.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I 100% agree with that. I think that, it's something you need to believe, obviously, if you're going to work with the roster as it is. But obviously, I mean, you know, this is something that has been a part of their playstyles for years, and has also represented a lot of spots that they play. So it'll take some effort.
I think he also emphasized the fact that, you know, this is a roster of people who have experience across teams, across years of Counter-Strike, and so that they're able to maybe like exist outside of that mold, the role mold. These aren't newcomers who find themselves very much restricted by what they're trying to specialize in order to make their name. You know, these are a bunch of players who are very willing to adapt and overcome. And adversity, of course, is what Complexity is currently facing. Not in this round, apparently, though. That's as easy as it gets. And it's the same avenue of attack, down ramp into B. However, much less resistance. Faze unable to get a single kill versus them. That's the 3-1 start to the T side.
This is also, you know, Coldzera versus his former lineup. That's the fun part about this whole matchup. I mean, you know, it didn't end on beautiful terms. I don't know how. I mean, the last time, I think there was a little bit of hate between Nico and Cold and stuff like that. And of course, you know, it's not going to be perfect when someone leaves a team. But sure, I mean, this is definitely both Cold and his former teammates wanted to beat each other 100%.
Despite this being a bye, obvious limitations for Faze. So this I think could really turn onto a snowball type situation if they're not cautious. They're already down to just a single smoke and flash, and Brokey just gets his face blown open here towards ramp room. Repetition so far from Complexity's T side. But it's been successful.
Yeah, they spread the ramp. They've still got lobby control. They aren't outside right now, but there's also no CT presence to steal back space that way. Cold will spot one, trying to lock down that spray, but Rain's on point as well. He'll bust out.
And that's always a great sign for Faze on a night as well. If Rain is coming out swinging, I'm always ready for it.
Yeah.
I think one of the players who was kind of challenged in the last year or so, right? Like, this isn't the best form of Rain.
Yeah.
But we're always reminded from time to time why he is a legend, and he will find the better timing versus Poison. Now, this is brought right back into the 3 versus 3. We've got lurkers all over the place, right? And that's the whole, I think, tail of the tape this evening, right? So much lurk potential for Complexity, but it's working out. It is working out because JKS snaps it into twists, sniffs him out of his situation. Kerrigan back behind Vent. Oh my God, he activates, and he, for a second, had an inkling as to BlameF's potential position. Now we find Olaf in the clutch. And I think Olaf's one of those players who really rejuvenated Faze when he came back from his 15th retirement. Gets spotted, though, inside of Mini and is met by Utility. That's going to spell the difference. 4-1 Complexity on the cards.
There's a couple of interesting things here. So S-Tag comes in, he's got a couple of opening frags or refrags. Poison also is very underrated at T-side rifle entry. He's actually done that in certain maps, and you're like, wait, what the hell? Why is he so comfortable going out in front? And even though he's known as an opper, he's known as an explosive opper, not necessarily aggressive, but really good at combat opping and stuff like that. He's not one that's known to, you know, just go for such a high percentage of the entries, especially looking so comfortable with an AK in hand. And he just exploded on ramp on a great timing. But I don't really love this round after that point for Complexity, where things did slow down, and then it was so many 50-50 engagements. Like, you could argue Twist almost has an advantage there. Sure, JKS hits a beautiful shot, but Twist is really razor sharp. That was an instant headshot. He would have got punished, and Cold gets punished in the ramp. And what was going to happen? What was going to happen in that situation if they just didn't win the majority of their 50-50s after they spread? No one was in a tradable spot. And I guess that is like the big fear about Complexity with just the types of players that they've got.
Rain scouting.
With everyone playing, you know, a lot of people playing slow.
Bunch of creepy crawlers.
Rain, you know, before Cologne was having a really, you know, not a great year, but Faze obviously was not having a great time overall. As soon as LAN hit, like, he was very much back. And honestly, since then, just been seeing a lot of great maps from him. And I'm sure a lot of it comes down to motivation to play the game. You know what I mean?
I think that Cologne performance and result was kind of like that extra little boost to Faze, just enough energy to kind of get them through what's left of this online period. Because, like you're mentioning, dude, their ratings and the team's performance was just tanking. It was not up to expectations, and I'm sure they weren't having any fun. Now, we've got the man down. That scout not going to find much impact. Blame F is damaged, but so be it. If Complexity just pop it at this A site, then the pistols should crumble.
It's almost time to go. That squeaky door blown open.
Yes, sir, 25 seconds to spare. We had that ramp flank activate. Olaf does get cut down. Very patient play coming out of Complexity here. They're going to leave this down to the wire, and they're going to use that Olaf push as a trigger to go down into the B site. But that scrambles the A players and gives them a chance to pick up a weapon. But that is stopped by Gall.
Wait a second, the bomb is here.
That's it. Now you just need to hide, and there is no time. They tried to use Olaf as a punishment. Instead, it's Faze with a robbery.
Jesus. All right. It's still early, but I mean, you know. That was great. Dude, I mean, this comes like this. Wow, that's okay. That's not fair. That ain't cool. This is big too. But dude, what were they waiting for? They're waiting for a Blame F's lurk outside. What was it, the Coheed? I mean, the amount of time left over. I just don't want to see rounds where you have an advantage, you get an opening kill, you got all the map control you want, and then you burn 30 seconds for no reason.
Yep. I feel like if Blame had been positioned on Mini sooner, like
he didn't even have to be the first person in Mini when they have the lobby exec. They could have taken that into an upstairs hit, and Blame could have just taken his time. They still had numbers. So
just leaving that vent rotate open is what came back to get them.
One of the problems of calling from the lurking position, in general, not just right now, but like always, is just that you have the lowest information on the map. You have all of your info, but if you don't have info or your info isn't relevant to your other 4 players, you're still trying to control pieces and move forward with execs. And Blame F as a role player in the lurk role was extraordinary. I mean, top 6 on stats, clear impact. I watched his maps. The idea that he's just a baiter and only gets eco kills is bullshit, honestly. It's bullshit. He actually has so much impact from that position and knows how to time his flanks and stuff like that really well. But that doesn't change the fact that the rest of his team has to be able to be on the same page as him and come through with execs when the time is right. Already we're seeing a couple of rounds that are very, like, their default, their scaling is so poor that it feels like everything is just left on a knife edge. Even with opening kills, they get the opening kills. And then you wonder, you know, are they really playing their advantages to the finish line?
Damn, Kerrigan looking fresh.
Yeah.
Faze off.
I like your cut, G.
Looking slick. He knows it. He can hear us. Come on. He's looking right at me.
Yep. That was the response. So what do you think?
What do I think?
What do you think about everything?
I think that everything.
Tell me about your whole day.
Yes, my whole day. I mean, I literally spent the entire day with you. You know.
Tell me about it.
But you're prompting me. Today we went to the Royal Arena. That's right.
Yeah, sell some tickets.
The Coliseum of the Blast Fall Finals. Launders and I walked in there for the first time in 2 years. Our biggest and most badass cast was, of course, at the Fall Finals in 2019. Roaring Danes filling everything, every single seat.
I can't wait to get spitted on by an audience again.
Yeah.
And not have to worry about it.
We walked into there today. It was very empty, but it was like positively ominous. You know?
You like words, don't you?
Sometimes. It was lacking energy. Obviously so empty, but it was that much closer to feeling real. You know? I know that the next time I walk into that building, there's going to be a lot more people. And there's going to be players on LAN competing. So that was cool.
Yeah. Wait till you see the new stage.
I don't think we're allowed to spoil, but God, do I want to.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you guys all the secrets. If I was allowed to, you would all be in the know-how. But you're not, so you guys all have to wait.
The question was with Complexity, is JKS going to stay on the roster? If coldzera comes into the lineup, it feels like the natural move would be to use him as a stand-in for now. Config comes back, but then You have JKS removed, but now there's also the rumor that
Config's not coming back.
Going to Astralis. So in that situation, if it is the case that coldzera staying on the team, I mean, people are going to put their matches under a microscope, like a lot of the games and stuff like that. And there's the idea that, yeah, I mean, Cold's like one of the best players of all time. Like, I actually think on just a list of just, it's not some kind of balance between accomplishments and whatever. Like, it's like, for me, it's like simple ZywOo and then maybe Kenny S and then coldzera would be number 4, something like that. Like, from the 2 years that he was number 1 and got MVPs at the majors, I honestly, in terms of riflers, I don't think I've ever seen anyone that just blew me away that hard. So I have the utmost respect for his capabilities as an individual, like monster performer. But it's been a long time. He's not that player anymore, and I don't think he's trying to be exactly. But there was always the weird thing where on Faze he didn't have that much space. I mean, he was playing some small sites and stuff like that. You know, wasn't setting himself up to be a star, which is kind of cool to see because it just strengthens those really, you know, lesser shining positions. But then if he is going to come on to Complexity and get a ton of space back, is he going to be prepared to bring back old Cold?
Yep.
I mean, I doubt it. I think he could be a super solid player too. Like, imagine if Cold was coming in to replace Rush, right? He'd be able to be an upgrade in, you know, in terms of like individual level and all this stuff for sure. But if he's coming in to replace the position 1, 2, or 3 player in core, play Cattle Mirage and play like whatever, all these big roles, is he going to consistently have star player impact? Because Complexity need to be shooting for top 1 in the world, I think. Like, that's what they were made for. That's what they were made for. And like with Blame F, they had Blame F as a top 6 player last year. They had Config, who was doing really well, and of course, insane amounts of roster changes and stuff like that meant that they could never get going. But they were kind of in a position to like say, if we can't make top 5, we're failing hard. Where some other teams, it's like they got some other stuff to figure out first. And again, can coldzera fill like a core role and also bring a team to like top 1 or top 5 or something like that? I'm hesitant to believe it. But yeah, it's more off the back of what we've seen from other players that have existed for so long. Like you don't just go number 1 again. It just doesn't happen. That's all. It's not because I specifically doubt coldzera, but it's like, you know, he's already done it all, kind of thing. It's probably hard to be that kind of guy again.
Speaking of individuals who have done it all, Peacemaker as well, back in the server alongside Complexity.
Yeah.
Man has coached on every continent, barring Antarctica.
Yeah, for real. If this game was any bigger, this guy would coach the first Antarctica. He'd coach a team of Penguins to qualify for the major, probably. But yeah, he's done actually, like, he did pretty good with Mad Lions. I think he was coaching while they won Flashpoint.
Yes.
And he's kind of a meme because of the amount of teams that he's coached. And there's one point where he was coaching Tyloo in China, and then literally Bentet left, and he was just the only English-speaking person in the room, and just stayed there for a while, and it was like, this is actually hilarious at this point. But since then, coached Mad Lions, and I think, what was it, Heroic as well? Something like that.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to open up his Wikipedia just so we can go over it.
And Cold is a guy, and the two of them are on Complexity because of each other, I think, and have some good words to say about each other. And I've heard Cold independently speak highly of Peacemaker, saying that he does have a lot to offer. He's actually a good coach. And I think the one criticism was that Peacemaker always flew off the rails. That was the big one.
Right.
But people change, people grow, and if he has a good game plan and stuff, I feel like, you know, Blame F is the kind of person to respect the right calls. You know, I don't think he's going to get emotional if there are arguments.
No,
really just depends how fundamental the differences of philosophy are.
Blame F means business.
Yeah.
And I think that business is at the core of Complexity. Like we just touched on, right? This team was built to win.
Yeah.
And that felt like a joke at first.
The Jason Lake effect.
The Jason Lake effect. Complexity now also sponsoring Tim the Tapman.
No, he's a part owner now.
Well, that's even better.
Yeah, he's a part owner.
Oh my God, part owner. Okay. I thought that. All right. Okay, that's even better then.
Yeah.
I can get behind that. Part owner, Tim the Tapman, taking Complexity to a whole new level. We go down the Peacemaker list, right? Team Liquid, obviously, 2016. I think that was an infamous period. That's when he was in NA with Tempo Storm, Team Liquid, NRG, Misfits Gaming. Remember that roster? Amanek and Deva Duvik with Sean Gares,
Yes.
Shazam,
Shazam.
and Peacemaker.
Mm-hmm.
Then he went to Tai Lu. Couldn't speak to any of the players and
Bentet.
had to get out of there once Bentet left. Then, as we touched on, Heroic for a couple of years, Mad Lions. We did the whole Danish thing. Imperial Esports, when they kind of came into it, right? I think the Imperial Esports one was, this was when he was with like Esperanto, and then there was some, a little bit of beef between Esperanto and Peacekeeper.
Yeah. Peacekeeper. Stop playing Apex Legends.
Yeah.
Called Peacekeeper again.
Did I? Oh my God, Peacemaker. Excuse me.
You got to respect the initiative. I mean, I bet this guy can write a mean email.
Right? I mean,
what does emails look like? You think he leaves a heart emoji at the end?
He must. He's a salesman. That much you got to say.
That's right.
He's a salesman.
He gets his foot in the door.
Imperial into complexity.
Yeah, kind of difficult teams to be coaching for. Love to just get like a review. The site website you can review like your professors in school.
Yeah.
I'd love to have like a coach one for CS. Players leave anonymous reviews of all their coaches. That would be, first of all, hilarious. And we could play a game like guess what who the player was. That'd be awesome. Esatag, since we're just going down the list, is a guy who he's got stretched thin on his versatility, and they've tried to make him play so many different roles. When he was on Astralis, which I asked him about in that podcast, in the Push to Talk podcast interview, he said he was very comfortable because he was playing all the Xyp9x roles, and that's who he's kind of best playing as. But he's also known for being versatile, and then they had him op because he was opping, I think, on Tricked before, and then he was on Heroic as well, and then they had him kind of doing entries as well on Cloud9, and it was like at that point, they're like making this guy wear too many hats. It's like almost a stress test of what a player can do, but you want to see a player in, probably their top 2 roles, if possible, all the time, and then you have a good composition. If all 5 players are slightly versatile, but are still, you got Blame F lurking, and you got Poison opping, and stuff like, you don't stretch everyone to do every single thing. So we have yet to see, I think, what Esatag can do, because what we learned is that he is a solid player. When he was on Astralis, that Pro League 1 run was fantastic. He was great in all his positions, but he didn't see those positions again on Cloud9. So there's still some stuff to learn about him. But you could also argue, even though Glaive doesn't give himself a lot of credit, that Glaive's team's players play better under Glaive, and I think he denies that himself. But I mean,
he's a humble guy.
I mean,
and I think that we're currently in a phase right now with Device going to NIP and struggling that could argue exactly for that point.
Yeah.
That's a star player.
Until the stats show me otherwise,
Yep, exactly. Empirically, we have examples of promising Astralis players, not even promising, proven Astralis players, taking a dip without that system. Get the crowd riled up.
Yeah.
Put your cans in the air.
And that's what it is with this event right here, with the fall groups. It's about getting the spot in Copenhagen at the Royal Arena, being able to play on LAN. And now that's enough motivation, I think, for Faze, who have always done well at Blasts. I think they won, were they the only team to win two Blasts, I think, in 2000?
Yeah, back in 2019. Yeah. I believe picking up a victory in Miami.
Did they win? What else did they win? Was it Moscow or Madrid?
FaZe Clan ready to win this. They picked up Copenhagen last time.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Complexity also kind of started off hot with the 2019.
God. I just opened up the FaZe Clan Wikipedia page and look at this list of players.
Yeah.
This is one of those orgs, and I always forget, right? Like the iterations of this. How has Rain survived it all? Is he like the best teammate of all time, or is he just does he just speak so little that they forget he's there?
Well, at one point he was definitely the star player of FaZe, even on a team full of stars. He was the best player stats wise. He was like, he had some crazy tournaments and stuff, and he's obviously one of the founding members. So from that perspective, it makes sense. And also, he just does his role now. I mean, he just does his role. He exists as long, literally as long as his stats are good. There's no real big criticisms for him. I think that was just the biggest thing in with all the online matches. It was looking too hot from that perspective. Did we survive it?
I think we survived the podcast. Now, not the official podcast. That one comes out Monday. But thank you guys for your patience. Tech issue solved. And the action continues.
Okay.
Okay.
I think all that stuff didn't need to be said, though. There's a lot of stuff here with Complexity, especially.
But now what are you going to say next, Tech Pause?
Oh, I'll have some stuff.
Okay.
I'll have some stuff.
That's why you're here. Brokey. Gonna win an op duel. We haven't seen an op duel until now, so far, across this first map. And it was Brokey posting Garage as quick as possible. Down goes Poison. I'm very curious to pick your mind later about the whole Poison T-side entry on rifle thing. Yeah. So let's put a pin in that one.
Sometimes his opting gets called into question. So here's a funny moment, right? Because this is officially one of the two players who are getting a lot of the entries between him and Esatag. So do Complexity slow down to like excruciating halt, or are they able to commit through?
Well, they're going to throw a variation of the deep smokes. Blocks off Mini, Blue, and Garage. CT's also countering with some utility of their own by countering out the blue box. Now that could prime Rain to push through here. That would give Rain a chance to get up behind Red if he needs to.
He is so good at finding these little angles. Oh my God.
Nasty, like a snake in the grass. He's going to continue to try and abuse it, but he gets pushed and almost, looked like he almost got away. Martyrdom in full effect as he drops the nade on Cold Zero from beyond the grave. It's a man advantage for FaZe.
That was nice. Like it goes out like a Baneling there.
Yeah.
Off the backboard with the HE. That will help. Considering you haven't played StarCraft, that's pretty impressive.
Thank you. I tried to base it on like a Halo flood.
I haven't played Halo, so.
Oh my God.
PC gamer through and through.
15 seconds. Another one. Complexity. Just so little time to do anything that Esatag tries to sprint into Mini, looking to maybe join forces with Blame F over towards Lobby, but that's just not going to happen. Simply not enough time. They got slowed down by Rain's presence inside Secret. They were so passive even once they killed him that they had nothing to show for it. FaZe closing this gap by the mistakes of Complexity.
In the green room, they're always asking, you know, what kind of highlights should we put together? What kind of like packages should we put up together for the analyst desk? We can like characterize the half and like help people understand what actually happened, what was most important to focus on. And I'm sitting here thinking like, I would love to get the amount of times that the clock goes past 10 seconds where there's no bomb plant or chance to win the round for Complexity in this T-half, because that's another one. Opening kill lost, down to 10 seconds, no odds to win, no one taking initiative to bring a round back, and no execute to help them either.
Looking for it. Anybody to extend towards Squeaky's gonna die to Brokey. I feel it. To JKS Mac 10 peak, perhaps. Down he goes. That's the trigger. Twist's hands busy, but still able to come up with 2 kills and the third. Through the smoke, Cold Zera cleared.
Oh man, you can see the damage right up. That spray control was perfect. Well, I appreciate the pace change, but yeah, Twist does that all by himself. Smoke goes down off the Squeaky kill. Flame Up will try to make something happen. Doesn't work out. FaZe Clan crawling back in. And this is Complexity still with 4 rounds, but it doesn't feel like, I don't know what they're going to do next round. And I think they don't have a good solution either. Just relying heavily on multi-frags and entries, I think, here.
The economy is busted, so things to get a little easier from here on out. Again, silver lining, there was a pace change.
Yes, yeah. And it's never like Complexity are always a one-note team, but if they don't, I guess the one thing is if they don't commit to that execute right away, can they just organize and do it in the mid round? And that's the last kind of test to make it feel like they have some dimension.
Looking to catch Olaf off guard, but
They can smell this.
Brokey already ahead of the game, and he's going to throw down his own smoke.
They got Squeaky smoke. They're actually checking outside. Brain actively looking, not seeing a target.
I like this pack mentality from Complexity, though. They all saw that smoke. They all walked away. Stay grouped, play the numbers, and try to puncture through this A-site defense. Kerrigan, good for 2. Twist, same position as the last round, and looking for another multi-kill. They try to dodge down into the vents. Poison with a gift for Brokey, but that's all. We have FaZe Clan officially in the lead.
All right. Now, this will be, I think, a pretty defining moment. So we try to figure out what they're going to do next. They'll have a buy up again, And with this buy-up, how will it take it? Now, Poison's also rifling here on T side, and again, he's already having a decent game here, and he's already got a couple of really, really, key timing kills and stuff, and he does take initiative. Success on ramp a couple rounds ago. I think really following him or Esatag to figure out what they're going to do will make the most sense. Or if they're just going to commit outside fast upstairs.
Again, we've seen the tempo change, so this time with the weapons, they could hit it quick. Kerrigan just got behind Vent, and we saw JKS try to play it on a swivel. Kerrigan locking down with the 2K, but that Vent drop, a piece of the puzzle. Olaf looking to cut a player down in the lobby, Twists moving around the vents, catching coldzera, and sure enough, lobby player down. So Poison, 1 versus 5 with the plant on the B site. Not an ideal position, but for the sake of this, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Turns from the flashbang, of which Kerrigan hits himself. So much damage done already, though, that Twists easily sweeps it under the rug as FaZe continue to collect these round wins like they're nothing.
So a couple of things happen here. The rush gets disjointed. This play right here, this is the Art style execute out Squeaky. So what Art always does on Furia when they do Squeaky bust sometimes is he'll just run through the smoke while you're focusing all your attention on spamming down people from dropping vent, and then he'll entry you basically while you're upstairs and the rest of his teammates go down. But people are disjointed, they're slow to come down, and also JKS doesn't spot Kerrigan, even though the flash is perfect. So the tactic in that regard was good, but we needed that entry. Kerrigan ends up getting 2 kills, and then the event drop is also slowed down. So a number of things go wrong there, but it could be because of good utility from FaZe Clan, as well as maybe an unlucky moment where JKS doesn't spot Kerrigan in opposite vent. They could have also, mollied him in that position, but based on the way it was going, this is, I think, their idea.
If we could play back a replay here of JKS trying to push out and get that kill versus Kerrigan, it looked like he hard cleared it, but then he turned towards Hut for some reason.
Yeah, he
like 2 or 3 180s.
Yeah, he hard cleared it, but also if he was looking towards Squeaky or towards the vent, he would have seen Kerrigan full body out for a second as he ate the flash. So there's a small timing there.
Right here.
Yeah, he did the...
Like, that's not a... Mechanically, not setting yourself up for success.
Yeah. And they did have another player come out of Hut as well. Makes you wonder if they were even gonna commit to the vent drop, but who knows? 5 rounds in a row here for FaZe.
Yeah, moving forward with this one. CT side really starting to pop off. Poison, opening kill. Down goes Olaf. That, of course, being the closest of ramp players.
Okay, again, another situation. Ramp entry. Poison, tip of the spear. Minute 15.
They give up ramp entirely. Kerrigan moves downstairs. Or excuse me, no. Not even. Ramp's just fully open until Brokey comes over. So leaving a window there for Complexity to have potentially punished, but they don't capitalize off it. We've seen Rain slow things down from Secret previously. Little jump spot, a hippity hop, and then a skip back down to the B site.
Brokey's pushing lobby right now. They're taking the space back. And they already have the rotation. This is a nice called round by Kerrigan.
2 CTs down on here.
Yeah.
Rain and then Twists. Rain good for just the first. But Twists is in close proximity, and again, time could be an issue. We'll see if things get slowed back down. Utility thrown forward. Twists not going to be overwhelmed. Blame F still working as a drawback. A very similar situation to the last time that they got the outer control and made a last-minute rotation back to this A site. Brokey will kill 1 player, dropping that bomb and missing his shot. Kerrigan needs to hold onto Heaven, and he waited, tried to play a trigger discipline, and then ends up being found out. So FaZe this time not able to stop Complexity from their wishy-washy ways.
They found the gap. So as good as this was from FaZe Clan with the adjustment, they took the gamble to go downstairs, plus pushed in the lobby. Kerrigan read the situation that they were taken outside. They were going to commit to their smokes. The thing is, there's a guy walking Heaven the entire time that's Blame F, and this is the hole in the CT setup that they actually exploited. So once they got up there, hitting upstairs was a really great spot to go. So that's nice. Complexity on the board. That one comes close, but it's still a great call.
And I like that their failure the last time we saw a similar moment didn't kind of, increase their timidness. They weren't shying away from it and saying, okay, let's follow through this time, let's keep it more simple. We're talking about a new team with fresh layers of communication. And Poison bested Olaf last round, does it yet again. This time it was Poison who was not passive, but takes the aggression, takes the initiative, and Kerrigan burned away from stopping this drop down into the B site. Blame F outer lurk. Deep smokes to cover bomb, and no presence from Faze down on this B site. They can't stop anything.
They're choked out completely. Blame F laid outside. They can't even cross the secret, so Vent is the only way down, and they've already got everybody in lower quickly. Nice round from Complexity. Can we talk about it? Poison T-side entries.
Yeah.
3 rifle round headshot entries on ramp. On ramp.
You foreshadowed that really nicely.
Well, he's the one who showed it. There was a couple of maps where it was kind of weird how he actually wasn't opping that often on very friendly T-side op maps, like Vertigo, for example. And he was just going through with the AK and was just surprisingly good. Now, of course, he does seem like an op specialist, so it's weird to think, oh, he could be just as good on these entries. But this honestly might be his calling, especially on the T side. And especially considering it's a bit of inconsistency when you see him purely opping some maps.
Yeah, fair point. I think that he's actually a great example of what Essetag was telling us about, you know, this diversity of roles, breaking through the molds. If you were to tell me that somebody on this Complexity roster would break through their mold, I don't think at any point Poison becoming a rifler would be at the top of my list.
Definitely.
Like, unfathomable. But
It's true.
alas, here we are. It is the success story for Complexity's T-side. He is 14-8. Next closest would be Blame with 8 frags to his name. A shining example. Just putting whatever you have to into the server, coming out with success. Let's see if they can do it yet again. See if Complexity can find back that lead. Because remember, at one point, Faze were on fire. 5 rounds in a row. Things have changed.
It's wild. 6 Molotovs instantly expelled at a minute 40. I think it's really smart from Faze to say, okay, if they can't beat us on a rush, then we'll have much higher odds, because a lot of these rounds are coming so close on time. I think that's very sensible. So outside smokes again. So far we've seen them commit every single time. No fakes off the outside smokes. And Faze have read into this a couple of times. Rain doing a good job being very pervasive outside and also versatile in terms of his positioning. The number of different angles he's taken for fights, playing off the smoke inside of Secret, playing as a fallback position in Secret. Kind of like how much info he's been getting. But he doesn't see anything. So this fake doesn't work out too well. And Brokey's got to be able to jump up over. He's definitely liable to potentially get one and die. We'll see.
Misses a shot, and Poison gives chase. Hot on his heels.
Yeah, this is smart to chase him down, but now the rotations come in. Poison doesn't overextend. They win ramp. They run into Rain, and Rain finds a sneaky spot underneath the ladder.
Good movement. Blame tries to come into this A site. Twists will be traded right thereafter because Essetag floods in from the heavens, and the CT is forced to rotate from B to A. Conditioning, maybe. We had a lot of players downstairs from Faze this time. And Complexity, unlike some of their other misdirections, this one was fast. 2v2 in the post plant. Brokey and Kerrigan both over towards lobby. They're going to walk into Cold Zera, and Kerrigan dies unsuspecting. Now Brokey here to trade it, looking away from the flash and giving a quick chase to this player. There's no way he expects him to be that damn close. The last T in the back of the site, and Brokey, looking to close this distance, jumps on the gap.
Brokey!
And Poison blown open. We've got Faze with a 7-6 lead.
Last second, he had one chance to sell the fake that he's walking the wrong way around the sites, and he had to hit that shot. I mean, this boy is clutch.
Brokey's got that unassuming swagger. You ask him about this clutch, he'd just say, I push the buttons.
Yes.
Like, it's not a big deal, but that is important. 7th round for Faze on this CT side, looking to keep that lead and close out this first half. I love Roban's reactions.
Yeah, for sure. It's just blown away. That was another nice mid round from Complexity, though. They exploited the heaven and upper take again. That seems to be a good place to go. And they followed off the opening kill, and Poison did a great job of selling that he was going to commit downstairs, which convincingly pulled the rotation, but they didn't commit to it.
I like this Blame F Rain posturing we're getting outside. I feel like they're each being given a lot of responsibility, so we're getting these clean 1v1s. And in this case, it's a silent cross to Secret with no contest, no confirmation for Faze that this has happened. So they are going to leave a floater down at the bottom of the vents. And oppositely, Complexity set their sights on ramp. Poison boosted peak, no contact there. Olaf has been bested in this position a couple of times by Poison himself. And with that flash, Olaf decides to retreat.
That flash was brutal.
Unlike last round, Rain has not positioned himself in hell to slow this down. And now that he's being drawn away to that exact same moment, Blame F is going to follow him. But Rain, like you said, diversity in his positions.
I think he's being hunted, though. I think Blame knows exactly. Oh,
Now he knows for certain.
Yeah. This is just very nice from Blame, honestly.
Boom. Killer instinct. Rain gets hunted down like a rat. And twists. How many can he offer? Goes for the Famas spray and can't transfer. So solo frag on the A site again.
Yep. It's the same
variety from Complexity's T side.
It's the same present. It's just packaged differently. It's always the upstairs.
It's always socks.
It's always the ups. It's always socks. But they've got different patterns on them. You know, they basically every time they've won a round in these meaningful moments in these last few, it's always been a mid round to Blame F coordinating from outside on a lurk and then taking upstairs control via Heaven and putting a lot of pressure on Twist because you saw him sitting on the site. Twist is having a good day. He's aim-wise, looks super sharp, but nobody is good enough to be able to hit spray, except maybe Refresh, to hit spray transfers in Heaven from the lower site. That's one of the most disadvantaged spots that you could be in. And Brokey will survive, actually.
What?
Oh, whoa, he's the one who got that.
What?
Yeah, right. What the hell is that? What was that Blame F peak? Oh my god.
What is that?
Brokey's like, I don't have time for this.
What is that?
That was the Goomba peak. What was that?
Poison. Come on, I want to see this. Oh, yeah, I want to see the second one.
I think it had to be a no. It feels like the icons are meant.
Oh! What is that? Okay, he deserved to get killed by the Blame peak.
Look at that. Yo. That looks sick from Blame Mess.
How do you stop that much math so
run
quickly?
boost. Across that side. Oh, one in mini. The shoulder peak. He doesn't see him.
Sends a shot sailing through smoke.
I think this game has quietly become quite high level where, oh.
Yeah. I like that we're also playing a little bit quicker. And even with the slow rounds, you just see like this consistency in movement, right? It's like the train of thought, the communication, and the machine of Complexity is just rolling along at a chug. There's no more stalling out in those final 20 seconds. For that reason, I think we're feeling a much more high-level play. But this is it, the final T-side round of Complexity. A boost from Brokey here in Ramp Room. Not a spot they've had to deal with. Tag gonna molly that first Eagle back, but he does get tagged down to 60, and Brokey's just gonna keep his head tucked. Nice crouch play. Finds Poison, at least. Coldzera clears him. Man advantage here for FaZe. Despite playing with the lesser weapons, I think it's a matter of getting down to the B site. If they do it too quickly, then they fall into this. The trap set by JKS. He clamps down on the two, snaps them apart with 3 clean headshots, and leaves Olaf with an off to try and clutch.
Wow, Pro CS looks so easy.
Right? Gets funneled down into the Aussie, and he thrives down under. Got a little spicy towards the end. And the electricity in this server between Complexity and FaZe was turned up a notch before we swap sides. Now we get to see Cole's defense here on Nuke and whether or not they can close this map.
I feel like they're going to be even stronger on CD side, so it's crazy. They got that half together, and it looks like this exec, I don't know, is it going to come fast? There's the walk up. Maybe they're trying to make it seem like a fake, look for a timing. Decoy goes high and over. You know, they will be doing it to him. Only one upstairs tentatively, I guess. Oh, got one is speaking. No, 2,
Okay.
excuse me. And Twist is nearby.
Yeah, Poison able to stop that second player in Rain, and JKS having a field day here on top of Hut. That offense comes to a grinding halt, and Olaf Meister's just been dropped to 28. So with Bomb in the possession of Complexity, a 3-man advantage, and a tagged up Olaf, it's really all on Kerrigan. There he goes. It's all done.
Yeah, that was nice. Super
stellar.
Super climb. It just comes down to the whole, man, it's a pistol. Light utility, hit some shots, make sure they're headshots, and you're done. And you're done. Now you're in the lead. You know, Complexity had a good first half in terms of the comeback. Plus, they've got to be feeling good about a pistol. I think this is where the smiles start coming back, and FaZe will have their feet to the fire. They can definitely pull some stuff off on T side, though. So I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to try, but I don't think they don't got the facilities for it right now.
No. Maybe next round, big man. Triple D, double tech 9. Couple of pieces of utility and early outer control. Good thing that gap gets covered, or else Blame F would have just torn him apart. Still, kill feed flooded with frags from Complexity, all too easy yet once more, and this time they had more than just pistols. Just nothing. Tried to get out from Hut, tried to plant on A, and it's a total shutdown from Complexity as they secure their 10th.
Did you have any doubts about Faze coming into the group?
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, just my belief in Faze, I think, is still stemming from their Cologne performance.
Yeah.
But I realize every time that I'm kind of disappointed, like this evening so far,
Sure.
where it's like, yeah, but we're back online.
Yeah.
You know, this is a team that's going to stick together until LAN hits, and then we're going to get this pop-off from them. I know that. It feels like an absolute fact. And there is always a chance here in the online realm as well, because the talent can transition. Twists, double Deagle to start this one, but then he loses Kerrigan. Not to mention Rain had already been dropped, so give it a little bit of time and Complexity should sweep away what remains. Low HP on 2 of the 3 from FaZe Clan. Sure, you can take your time. Maybe you crack open a bomb site. Maybe you find a little bit of lucky timing. We'll see. We'll see what else they can gather.
Yeah, there's so much damage done to Twist, and the other thing is that the guns are not in retrievable position, so very nice shots, but getting through upstairs is going to be kind of a challenge. No one in the back of the site, however, so Hut might be the perfect spot to go to, one up in heaven, and could we score a plant?
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, potential for JKS to swing out. Esatag finding one before they even attempt that bomb plant. JKS peeks over, and he finds Brokey uncovered.
Unearthed.
Unearthed. Get him out.
Woo. The credit card swipe. And the mini guy.
Ching.
Yeah, that was hot. Again, I always say this, but never go to Twist stream and watch him play deathmatch. Nothing will make you feel worse about yourself. Yeah. Nothing will make you feel further from pro, I swear. Like, seriously.
First gun round coming out of FaZe, and it's going to be pretty quick to the red box at the very least. Clear cross, clear corners. That's 1 man down and 3 to potentially join him, but I see maybe a little foot gap. Yeah, he catches the tail end of that train.
You got a unlucky rotation there. Could have saw it 3. I don't think he can confirm the rest, so
agreed.
Poison still on full alert.
Nice headshot into Rain. Comes back up with a second. Come on, Poison, give us that third. No, sir. Stopped a little short. Brokey, though, able to best Cold Zera inside control, and because Olaf's still up here on Silo, that bomb can be retrieved and Brokey can be left to his own devices. Good flashbang here to try and stop Olaf. That's the assist of JKS, who is able to frag out versus Brokey.
Awesome.
And that's the confirmation too that B site's clear because the bomb had been picked back up and brought over.
So much of that came down to Olaf outside. He was a late rotator, so they had anyone come and clear it, and he could get that kill. Then they could talk, because then they could start threatening the wrap towards heaven or open up lines towards an upstairs split of some sort. But yeah, that was the one chance they had to bring it back. A nice second rifle refrag for Brokey, but that's all it'll be. Just nice. Yeah. And again, this might be the perfect fit for Poison, just be throwing that up on CT side.
Yeah,
he's potent, very, very good on CT side nuke. But every good opper has to be good CT side nuke. I mean, there's no leeway there.
Simple sets the bar pretty high.
Simple sets the bar insanely high, and that's what he does on CT side nuke. Is I don't know how. I just don't know how. I just don't know.
Can't explain it.
Yeah.
See if we can make sense of this rush.
Oh my
JKS
God.
Just sat there.
These are the flashes
absolutely
we like to see.
Blinded. Esatag's looking for some kind of an impact, and he's wary of the potential for the squeaky player, but just as he was about to catch a guy crossing over towards vent, he gets executed by Brokey. Bomb will be dropped backside. And by dropped, I mean planted. Complexity, 2v4 retake attempt if they want to, or it's FaZe Clan kicking off a T side with a bit of a surprising round win.
Stopping that was like trying to eat a foot long in one bite. The amount of flashes that just came over the site, like the amount of things they had to deal with on top of not being able to see anything.
Yep.
I have so much sympathy for the site holders in that regard. That was a crazy explode with the minimal utility that they had. Nice round from FaZe. They're still 4 away from being able to tie here. And Complexity retained their gun, so I think they'll feel okay about this, but They covered everything.
Oof.
We saw this a lot. And also, insane timing from Brokey.
Insane.
Unbelievable. I don't know if he actually... No, STag was sitting in that corner watching a similar angle in the past. I don't know how much of that was looking at the radar to see where how far his teammate was to come out as Squeaky or godlike. I'm gonna give Brokey the benefit of the doubt.
All right.
Yeah.
Is it still Brokey week?
Godlike. It's always Brokey week. Never ends, man.
Never ends. Well, we'll see if this momentum comes to an abrupt end. Oh, Poison. He was trying to play off of the garage roof. Maybe Blame has slipped into this position and he goes unchecked. Looked like Brokey wanted to gun him down, but Blame almost able to exit. There is JKS stopping Olaf outside of the squeaky door, so we are into the 3v3, but it's the outer play from Faze that has left Complexity kind of scratching their heads a bit. Obviously, losing Blame and Poison out there means that Faze are playing it heavy, but where have they gone? And where do they want to go?
These moments are what Nuker's all about, is having the outside control, trying to get the info back, squeezing it's one way or another. Oh, Kerrigan's got to punish this. He does find the trade on as a tag. There's still two up here. It's still unknown as to where the CTs have got off to. So it's in Complexity, Faze's best interest to play it slow, but going towards Heaven, obviously, is a wonderful option, not only because of Heaven, but because they can also be able to go downstairs via ramp. So hell control is huge in a moment like this. And as the round gets later and later on, it's obviously a lot less likely that there are CTs in the rafters, which is also incentive to get up into the heavens. But they will take the lower route. And interestingly, coldzera's playing this like an absolute Sigma Chad here, sitting out in the open, ready to take this duel.
So prepared. Gets the first, and a jumping twist almost cost him. There's going to be like 5 seconds to spare by the time he gets to the site. So if he opens plants, he's a dead man. JKS swings open the doors and misses his chances. Now Twist needs to recommit. And I think there's just a bit of time, but the Incendiary should be enough to kill him post-plant, and sure enough it is. A calculated piece of utility here from the Aussie.
Oh, man, that's one of those moments where it doesn't matter how you win, you just want to make sure you just win.
Just
Get past it.
Just get it. And I feel like that round could have already been won by coldzera here on ramp.
Yeah, he did the damage that made that even easier with the Molotov at the end.
But it's JKS, so you know that's not even going to shake him.
He wasn't worried.
Nothing can shake him.
He could have still lost, but he wasn't worried. He could have definitely lost, but he wasn't worried about it.
Hot, hot, hot.
Man, if you went to the left, maybe. Oh, I don't want anyone to go through that. So I'm just glad he pulled it off. Is that
Third step to the left.
That's 13, right?
Crisscross.
If you leave Connor in a room for long enough, he'll sing every song on Spotify.
Smoke grenades down quick. I like this. Flash pass, but there's a T behind him. Oh, this is a big chance for Rain to recover because he just lost a teammate over top of all of that. And sure enough, tries to whip that spray around, but these two CTs were coming back from their initial aggression. Official advantage, though. Everybody from Faze is going to try and group up and hit this ramp room. They're going to be met by two CTs, and as they run through smoke, they are dead man walking. coldzera triple on the FAMAS.
Yeah, gotta love that spot. Committed hard, and they were in panic. They were like, okay, what was that play outside? That was ridiculous. The flash rush through the center of the action, and obviously people can cross fast outside like Rain has been doing, but Rain, you know, full blind, doesn't have the incentive to just turn around right away. Maybe that would have been the better play. He had so many targets. He was aware of them. He only gets one on that crazy push, but that is just too much chaos to figure out. One round in this half so far for the FaZe clan.
Another fast one. Starting to kick up that tempo. Maybe it stinks of desperation. Rain able to find Esatag at least. AK retrieved. 4 versus 3, and Poison, well, that could have been the difference. Off in the hands of Olaf. Oh, he hits JKS through the wall as bomb goes down. And he's gotta kill that. But Brokey's not able to get the better of Cold. Maybe Olaf can now run down and play this post plant, but the defuse coming through from Cold in the back of the site, yeah, it's a no-go. That's a 15th round win from Complexity and a CT side that seems to be steamrolling FaZe clan.
Indomitable, the immovable object right now. They were ready for the upstairs hit, beautiful spots, you know, ate a flash, but they didn't get overblind, played from the top of hut when it wasn't mollied. Super good for stopping squeaky pushes, and there were some failed spray attempts here from both sides, but it was Complexity who just had better guns and could survive missing a couple of shots themselves. So will this be the last round of the game? That's the question, but considering FaZe have only won one round, I'm not holding my breath to see this come back.
Poison, quick one. Immediately toppling Brokey back behind red. I mean, Cole, very content to come out here with aggression and just stop this T-side by force. Kerrigan able to fire down from Silo. 4v3, a little bit better. But the question is opening. And in these kinds of slow, more tempered moments of the T-side from Complexity, I feel like we really saw them thrive. In contrast now to what we're getting out of FaZe, I didn't realize just how impressive some of those, mid-round moments were.
This is an amazing opening map result for Complexity, considering they've got Cold in all those like worrisome interviews leading up to this. Cold's looking good. They're all playing well. I think they learned and figured out their T-side as the half went on, and even in that process, pulled out a winning score in the first half, and no questions whatsoever here on CT side.
JKS could get timings, but instead he comes right back at it. Twists will trade, and the Incendiary burns Esatag out of his position. So, 2v4 turn 2v2.
They're going to go back upstairs. I think Complexity want this more, actually.
Yeah, Cold already deep lobby. And they're not ready for it whatsoever. Blindsiding Olaf Meister, but we've got Twists in the clutch. Fake plant once. And he comes back at Squeaky. Nice misdirection here from Cold. Instead, coming out from hut.